agriculture insurance and sections. So it's good to see that it's all there, and also clearly see that there's likely to be a linkage between the two prototypes. So that also is good. Also having the right understanding of the market segment, both in terms of the geographical challenges that are there, which are a big challenge in terms of the commercial viability and the cost of reaching out to customers. So coming from that perspective sounds very interesting as well. Also reflected in the IVR solution, given the not down phone but feature phone penetration. So, thanks very much.
Thank you very much for this also very clear presentation, easy to follow. I'm really impressed. You went to the field and you know the target group. You were involved with the aggregators and the insurers, so you got all the players into your consideration, and you link both the know-how part and the product part, which is an integrated way of approaching this, and even incentivizing the farmer with disaster risk and weather information, which I think is a compelling element for farmers to use this new approach of the IVR call opportunity. Thank you very much. This looks promising.
Yeah, also from my side, big thank you, big hand. I'm a big fan of IVRs, especially I did have to look it up quickly in the internet, as Nepal has 123 different languages in your country, and I think IVR really gives you an opportunity to adapt the messages which really have to sink in with the target group, but they really have to understand it, and you can only really achieve that when you're using the local languages, and I think the IVR gives you really good opportunity for that. I would say to go with the index insurance is probably a very good idea, but you have to be aware that this is even more complicated to understand for your farmers, and I think that by the combination that you did not only focus on the product, but you combine it immediately with the awareness is extremely important. And if I may, I can go already into the recommendations. For me, I also feel like the gamification, you should really try out how far you can push the feature phones. I saw in your presentations earlier that actually you do have in every family at least one person with a smartphone which has access to internet, and as it is also extremely important for your target group to understand and to improve your techniques and how to react to climate change to become active. You should really think how you can bring that information which you collect by developing the trigger and you observing the trigger to combine it with push messages or with apps to inform their farmers. You know, we have now, this is a situation, so you can become active in this field and that field, really to enable them to be aware of what is happening in the climate, with the weather, in the region, because they don't have this information available. And I think that is, we have seen that the combination between insurance and risk reduction and risk preparedness is extremely important and very effective. And last but not least, in terms of again, like communicating the trigger point, I thought that you would like to work together with the association and with the municipalities. We haven't come that far in the presentation, but I would just support the thought, if it's already there, to really to use also the local institutions as a trustee to convey the message that this trigger is really being hit or not, because there are so many questions on basis risk and why didn't the trigger was hit, even though I do have the losses. You know, this is really important, and if somebody in Kathmandu is deciding upon that and there is no chance for the farmer to really to get into this feedback, what happened, that's extremely important and very beneficial for the success of your product. And good luck.
Okay, we are now on the recommendation side already. Well, I would love to know more or recommend you look deeper into the cost of all of this. Maybe not yet the product part, because that will be done with the insurance company, but with the IVR system, you could study how they did it in other countries, because institutionalizing, the partners will ask what will be the recurrent cost for this. Another recommendation I would have, you could consider for the text which is conveyed to reach out to women as well, because we have heard from other countries that women often convince their husband to purchase insurance. And that's an entry point you could make use of, the gender aspect in the information. Then another aspect which I think could be interesting for your target group is at a later stage add information on personal insurance, because from Uganda, for example, we have heard 250,000 farmers have now agriculture insurance, but they want health insurance. So coverage for personal insurance is equally important for farming families. And there is a cross, you can use IVR or other messaging also for this. Then renewal is a very critical stage, and I'm thrilled to hear that crop insurance, that you found out that crop insurance is used once. So for the prototype, I think it will be very important to keep on studying farmers who use it, farmers who have not used it, and invest in research while the product is already sold. Thank you. That would be everything from my side.
Thank you. On the constructive side of the feedback, one thing I would like the team to consider, and this is based on my experience, there is some literature to prove it as well, that insurance awareness and its relationship with demand, and then leading on to uptake of a solution, are not necessarily as linear as we may consider it to be. So it would be my suggestion to consider that the IVR part of the prototype, if we could split it possibly, make it a two-phased intervention, in the sense that one thing looks at the NIA's mandate of generic insurance awareness about amongst the populations, and of course it could have targeted information on how generically agriculture insurance, livestock, and the other kind of solution works, what to consider about claim processes and everything. Something like that is going to be effective for the whole market. And it's not that awareness efforts are not important or relevant, but if somebody is choosing not to buy insurance, if they are making an informed choice not to do it because of other circumstances, it's still a better position than them buying something which they do not understand or are not aware of. The second part of it then could be that those people who get genuinely motivated by something like this could have the product-specific focus, so either in terms of linking them to existing solutions that might exist through that process, as and when this prototype becomes a reality, the solution could be around that, very specific to products and solution uptake, very action-oriented information. So that would be one part of the solution. The second part of the solution, and it looks like, of course, you have the broad flow of how the product would come about is already there. And of course, all the things on the cost side, and the technical aspects and everything have been covered. One thing I would also recommend, and based on my limited understanding of the Nepalese market, is scale is going to be critical. Of course, cooperatives, there are so many cooperatives in Nepal, but their sizes are 500, 700 farmers and something to that effect. Pulling that all together would be a challenge, so considering how that would go. Even suggesting looking at more bigger commercial entities, banking institutions, and something which go into tens or 20,000 farmers being lent to them. They might not be, subsistence farmers, but every farmer needs protection against such risks, and that could lead to be commercial viability. So reach out from the perspective of having the maximum scale available through bundling of solutions. Again, retail is more challenging than bundling it for the existing solutions that have a genuine demand and push from the customers, credit being one of them. So thinking on those lines would be important. I know you're in the early stages of it, and I'm sure you would have thought through it, but just those two aspects would be important to go forward.
I will ask, a lot has been said already, so I'm not going to repeat all of that. One question that came to my mind with the IVR system was how much trust is there in technology, as in giving guidance and really trusting rather a technology rather than a person. So as an open question, and maybe as a feedback, to not forget the human part or to put a human face to these systems and these solutions that you are trying to promote. Maybe it's suitable to identify champions or, I don't know, community leaders, people that are trusted by the beneficiaries you want to reach, and that would then promote your solutions, not only the IVR but also the index insurance, so that there are sort of this link, there's a human connection to these insurance solutions. It's not only technology, but there's also a human connection to this. I think this might be important. And my point on the index insurance was specifically on the basis risk, but that was already said. So I think it's really important to, right from the beginning, develop a communication plan and take along the beneficiaries, the potential beneficiaries and the customers, to make sure they really understand the insurance and the limitation of the insurance. So to have a strategy in place and to mitigate basis risk.
Thank you.